Right. Plumbus! Yes! It's a fucking Plumbus.
What is that?
Mate! What's Rick and Morty VR all about?
Awesome.
That it? Is that all you got to say?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited.
You're a
I'm
big
excited.
fan.
I'm excited. I fucking love Rick and Morty. So
I know nothing about it.
I've been scarred before by John Wick.
Yes, stepping once again to that licensed VR territory where it
Yeah.
can go a bit wonky. So you're going balls deep. It's
We're
not a
balls deep.
cheapie. It's 23 notes. Hopefully going to be good. Don't get your fanboyism in the way. Focus on the job.
I'll do what I want.
Select character.
Bro, as a non-fan of the show, not because I've watched it and disliked it, I haven't got around to watching it yet. So I'm sorry, I haven't. But you are a stellar fan.
Stella.
A stellar
I'm all
fan.
about the wubba lubba dub dubs, mate.
You knew all the things that were going on.
true.
Tell us about Rick and Morty VR, baby.
It was. Do you know what? Straight off the bat, before we get into anything of it, it was awesome.
Yep.
It delivered. The back basis for this is hyped for John Wick. The VR sucked all the balls.
It was just a shooter game.
It was just a fucking shooter, generically as fuck. This, however, it's Rick and Morty. I know it's a different genre. It's Rick and Morty. It's everything that I thought it'd be. It'd be daft, it'd be improv. It was perfect.
I will say you have to be a fan of the show to really enjoy it.
For a lot of the stuff.
Absolutely do.
Yeah, exactly. For like one of my examples was, I want there to be a Plumbus.
See, like you kept saying that to me. I'm like, the fuck is a Plumbus? And I still don't know. By the way,
best part was I wound up your missus for like 20 minutes that a Plumbus is a real thing. She had to Google it. But anyway, so the story is, and I'm going to do this one a little bit differently because it's only a very, very short story, and it's kind of like a Scorsese ending to the story,
a little bit,
comedy way.
A little bit.
So you are basically created as a Morty clone. While the original Rick and Morty are off on their adventures, it starts off they make a clone of Morty so that he can do the laundry.
That is the whole game. That's the story of the game.
So, Rick dumps a load of shit at your feet and says, wash these.
Dirty
We'll be
underpants.
back. Dirty underpants, dirty shirts, dirty pants. We'll be back. So as he goes, you wash that, and then you keep getting messages saying, don't piss around with anything in my workshop. You're obviously going to do that. You're going to play around. And then they give you various tasks to do. Now, these tasks involve things in the workshop like recharging batteries, using a combining station to make different items, all kinds of fun. There is a Meeseeks, a Mr. Meeseeks box, which is morphed into a Mr. U-Seeks, where you throw a ball onto the ground, and this is basically designed for grabbing things that are out of your reach.
This is one of the most ingenious ideas I've had for a game that wanted you to be room scale, which means obviously you can walk around, but not everywhere.
Yep.
So because the garage is quite large, the way they beat this system, and it was genius, was creating a Mr. U-Seeks. And what does he do?
Basically, when you throw the U-Seeks ball, it spawns, I'm going to call him U-Seeks, fuck it, I'm not going to go back to Me-Seeks. And he mimics what you do wherever you throw the ball. So if something's out of your range in your room scale, you throw a U-Seeks ball there, and he will mirror what you do to pick things up, to throw things back. Oh, dude, I had some MLG moments on
To be fair, Andy did a catch of something falling out of a portal, which was genius.
It was like, there's so many different things to do. I mean, it's a dream. So that's the story of it. Basically is you start off as a Morty clone to wash underwear for Rick. He takes you on all kinds of adventures with a storyline that I will we will touch on at the end. It's a spoiler, but it's a very short game.
It's a very short game, so again,
but it's the ending's very, very, very funny, very Rick and Morty-esque.
What I will say, if we move on to the gameplay, is this is very much like Job Simulator and all those kind of games.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it's all about, there's a story, sure, but it's all about having fun along the way. They just give you the tools to goof around.
Absolutely.
And if you're not into that, you're kind of screwed. Because it's designed for messing around.
You're going to buy this game if you're a huge Rick and Morty fan, and it totally delivers. So gameplay-wise, like we said, it's the standard VR fare that we've got to love from things like Job Simulator, but it's mainly set in Rick's workshop in the garage. It's not just set in there, though. You go into various places in the house, in the universe, in the galaxy, and to purgatory.
Yes, and all the... I mean, was there anybody missing? As a fan of the show, was there anything that you were like, I kind of wish they'd included that? I mean,
well, I think there was... Yeah, it was absolutely full of references, but also You know, there's things that I did want to see, but I'm fine that they didn't because they crammed it like so much into it without going OTT. Like I wanted to see Bird Person, or even a reference to him, or you know, at one point I was hoping to see Mr. Poopy Butthole.
I think there was a picture on a wall.
There was when you use the teleporter to go to the bathroom, Mr. Poopy Butthole's on the wall. But when you don't get a message through your watch and you just tap your watch, you get a message from Mr. Poopy Butthole as well. So that was awesome.
They managed to stuck on everything.
Yeah. So you've got various puzzles like combination work, all kinds of fare like that. There are shooting parts in it as well when you go to a different island, and then the galactic police come up to stop Rick as they usually do, and you get the kind of Iron Man-esque armor that appears in one of the shows to blow the crap out of them while Rick and Morty escape.
So all in all, because again, it's not a long game, which we'll get to in a sec. But as a fan of the show, you loved it.
Absolutely loved it. Yeah, ticked all the boxes that I wanted. Scratched the itch. But yeah.
So without spoiling it, let's do our conclusion. Without spoiling,
so
I mean, it's a short video, but there's a reason why.
Yeah. The pros and cons is the pros. Like we said before, the fans are going to fucking love this. Absolutely love this. And one other part that was really good is we fought a huge alien.
Yep.
Had to go into space to fight him. And then Rick's just like, hang about, that thing's huge. I'm going to have a way to fix this. So he makes you into a giant as well. But like, bigger than the planet.
Thousands of times bigger than Earth.
Bigger than the planet, so that you can just basically pull on this monster's nuts to kill him. It was so fun.
And from a VR perspective, it felt really good.
Absolutely. Just to watch the Earth morph small, and then you can still see Rick's ship, and you can get right into them and like look inside the really tiny ship. So good. It's all the original voice acting as well. So that obviously that keeps you full immersion. And once you've played through it, like we say, it's a very short game. There are various things that you do in the game, like there's a battery charging station, which is like a puzzle table. There's a shooting scene that we've also talked about. There's a trap door where you've got to make combinations of various things through Rick's transmogrifier to drop them down the hole. All these turn into a kind of endurance game mechanic. Like the shooting thing turns into a horde mode until you die. The battery charging station, the same thing until you can't do it until you actually overload the system. So they change as well. So it's not just replaying the level.
A scoreboard at the end with things that are missing. So there's cassette tapes to find, of which there's 13 in total. And we only found 3 through our normal playthrough. No, through the actual, until we found out
through the playthrough, yes. We found
in the actual playing of the game, we only found 3 of 13.
Yeah.
And there's then things like find certain characters. Because the opening says like, this character's in the game somewhere. You got to find him.
Oh, Jerry the dad. Jerry's in the game somewhere.
Oh,
sorry, mate. No. At the end of it, Rick says, look, like they speak to you like you're the game characters. Like, you know, if you enjoyed the game, but there's also Jerry somewhere in this game, and we're going to see if you can find him. You know, we're not going to tell you where he is, but I can guarantee you he's in the game. We did find him. But yeah, just on one, I'm going to have to highlight it, dude, because it was the best play that I've made in any computer game in probably 25, 28 years of playing computer games. And that was, like we said, one of the cassette tapes was outside the garage on the lawn. So I threw a Meeseeks ball through the window to get the cassette tape. And when you crouch to pick it up, you can't see where the cassette tape is because you're crouching behind the window. Then I had to stand up with the Meeseeks, throw the tape through the window, and then catch it. Nailed it, mate.
It's a satisfying feeling.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Let's do the big con then, pal.
The one big con, mate. Oh, it's not even that big a con because I kind of get it. It's a big con for you, and I get that it is quite expensive.
I can't recommend this game. I can't recommend the price. It's too expensive. It's 23 quid for a couple of hours. That's over £10 an hour.
Yeah.
It's fun, but I'm not paying that. And the big problem it's actually having, and we checked the Steam forums for this as well, is people are playing it and just refunding it because the game actually finishes.
A lot of people have done that. I get that.
A lot of people, the game finishes before your free chance to refund the game is up.
Yeah.
As simple as that. They're playing and finishing it. They're paying 23 quid for that, which is what, like $35, $40.
Yeah.
For a game that's over in 2 hours.
I was just going to say, I think we went just over the 2-hour mark with the additional exploring at the end of it.
Yeah, and a good 30 odd minutes of that was just hunting down extras.
Absolutely,
stuff. Like, in terms of the main game, it was done. And you could have done it, and to be fair, we goofed around a hell of a lot.
We did fuck around in the workshop for so long, we did.
So long. And if we were just playing, like, through the story, especially if you're the kind of the mindset, and we see it a lot in our stream chat, it's like, do what you're being told to do. So it might be like, find the watch. People are like, why aren't you getting the watch? And it's because we're goofing around. We're checking everything.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
If you're certainly of the mindset of like, I want to get through the campaign, so to speak, you're gonna be done.
You are flat out wasting your money.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, on that basis alone, I just can't recommend it. It's just too expensive for what it is.
I get what you
mean. Too expensive for what it is. As fun as it is, and I mean, if I'm not saying this because I'm not a fan of the show.
Yeah.
if it was anything, if it was 2 hours and they were charging that for it, I was like, I'm not recommending people buy that.
I get you.
You know what I mean?
No,
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that at all. But which is a real shame.
Yeah.
A real shame. But that would be my conclusion. After watching it, I thought great fun, and then it was finished. And I was like,
not worth the money.
not worth the money. Not
Fair
worth the
enough,
money
mate. It's a fair point.
Yeah, I think most things you're going to be able to see out of it, you're going to be able to see on someone else's playthrough in just a couple of hours and save yourself 23 quid. It's a cinema trip.
Yeah,
out.
true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Oh, well. That was Rick and Morty, boys. Wait. That's got to be it. Fucking hell, do I feel like a right knobhead. One hand's got to get it. Surely. Yes! Alright now, me seeks.
How are you going to get this?
It's a good question. I'm going to have to try and get it through one of the cracks of the window. How do we do this, Meeseeks? Should we just wing it? You ready, Meeseeks? We've got one chance at this. One! You and me, buddy. Oh my god! There is no end to this man's talent!
Well, you had fun. You had a lot of fun. You
I did have a lot of fun.
You did have a lot of fun.
Cost a lot of Benjamins, though, mate, for what you get.
It's
right?
real. I mean, are we going to get to the point where the games try and go for like just over the Steam refund policy, just to like try and inch out that refund thing? Because looking again, we checked after we did the audio.
A lot of people got the game done and refunded before the
real shame, man, because it's like it's getting there with the VR stuff, but they want more money because it's a licensed game. I get that, but it also needs to be longer. It can't be like John Wick was 4 levels.
Yeah.
This is like 2 hours of gameplay, and they even go into a big scene where they're like, "Oh, it's so replayable, and you can do all this and that." It's like, kind of. Like, is it 23 quid replayable? I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, I can't recommend it anyway.
You can't. It's so much fun, but the overarching problem is the price. The game was everything. Like we said in the review, it's voice acted by the actual guys who do it. There's a lot of references. There's so many different things to do, but it's still a very short game.
But we're getting there. VR's getting better and better every single time.
Absolutely.
Every single time. And it needs these kind of games to come forward and say, this is what it's all about. And it's a ton of fun. But you got to compare it to what's out there at the minute. I mean, you know. Yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed that video, check out our previous Mace Watch, which was an early look. Bethesda sent us down to play Prey. Yes. In the Bioshock System Shock series. Give it a look. Alright, see you later, everybody.
Euro mods.
Can't even look at you. Let's pray! Oh, I did feel bad with the girl down at Bethesda every time she said, make sure you tag everything Let's Pray. She was like,
Let's Pray.
I do like the hashtags, though. They gotta bring the game together, you know what I mean?
They bring in a community.
They're the signal. They're the absolute signal of what we're in for. But is it what we're in for, though? Little different than what we expected. Little different from the trailer.
A lot different.